So today we are going to be talking about the Encircle app. This is an application that is required to be used while on site. There is no exception to that unless your supervisor says otherwise. Once you receive your claim, you're going to receive 2 emails from Encircle. One is going to be the link to create your account, and the second one will be the link for your actual claim. After you get your account set up and under business, then you'll be able to access your claim from that second link. This is what your claim will end up looking like. This is what your claim will end up looking like. You will have the insured's name, address, type of loss, and any other information that is pertinent. On every claim that you receive, Exterior will auto-populate for you. This is where you're going to take overall photos of the front of the building with the address. If the address is not visible on the actual building, then you can either go to the mailbox, take a picture of the address on the mailbox. If that is not available, then what you'll do is write down the address on a piece of paper and take a picture of it with the property in the background. Exterior will also be used for anything that was thrown outside onto Exterior will also be used for anything that may have been thrown out into the front lawn or front area. Once you are ready to start taking photos inside the building, you'll want to create a new room. To do that, you'll click Add Room. Now, if you're working on a commercial loss, and let's say we do not have the verbiage that you are looking for, let's say it's sales floor, you can write in sales floor here and click Done, and it'll populate that room for you. Now, if you're working in a residential home, you can either write your own name or you can use any of these options we have here. For today, I'm going to go ahead and use, let's say, family room. So I went ahead and clicked on that one. It automatically put me into that room. And this is where it will land you. Photos and videos will be where you take your overall photos of each room. Now, we always say to take 3 to 4 different photos at different angles to show the adjuster what's going on. To take overall photos, you'll click the plus sign at the bottom and you'll click on Add Photos and Videos. So now you'll come into your room. You're going to take photos at different angles. And then after you're done taking your overall photos, you're going to click Done. Those will populate for you here. There will be times where if you don't have great cell reception, it might take a while for those photos to populate. As long as you do not exit the app, they will populate and you can access those at a later time. Now, let's say you are ready to start taking photos of your contents, of all the damaged contents. What you're going to do is click on the plus sign, and now you want to click on Add Contents. It's the third option down. Doing so will make sure that the contents and your overall photos stay separate. You want to make sure they are separate. That way your overall photos don't duplicate or end up on your inventory. There's no reason why those need to be there. So I'll go ahead and click Add Contents. And today I'm going to go ahead and use a wireless mouse. And then before moving on, you want to make sure to add as much detail to your photo as possible so you can avoid doing any work later on or missing any information. So you'll click on Edit Details. Now your item description needs to be very detailed. So in this one, we'll put a white, see what brand this is, our white, for your item description, I'll go ahead and put in white wireless gaming mouse. And that's all we need at this point. Your disposition will be used on the rare occasion that an adjuster is specifically asking you to identify items that are clean, can be cleaned, or are non-salvageable. So clicking on disposition, the only options you'll end up using are restore, non-restorable, or unaffected. That is telling the adjuster if they need to have a service go out to the property and remove anything that either can be cleaned or are already clean. And then all they'll need to do is, if, let's say, we have items that are non-restorable, they'll be able to identify those items and pay for those items for the insured. You do not need to use disposition on every claim. It is a claim-by-claim basis. And then for box name, that's never anything you'll end up having to use, so you can go ahead and skip that. And then quantity is when the insured has more than one of the same item. So let's say you're working in the living room and the insured has 3 metal table lamps. All you need to do is take a single photo and then update that quantity to 3. Now let's say they have 2 metal table lamps and 1 ceramic table lamp. You want to make sure at that point to keep them separated out, so you'll end up taking 2 different photos. That way, since they do differ in price because of the different material, the insured will be compensated properly. For item age, that needs to come from the insured. That is how long they have specifically had that item for. There are times where they'll give you the age of the actual item, which is perfectly fine. We can put that in the description. They'll do that if the item is an antique or maybe a hand-me-down. That's perfectly fine. Again, we can put that in the description. Just make sure to let them know we do need to know how long they have had the item so we can price it properly. If they don't remember, let them know that their best guess will work just fine. If they are continuing to struggle or refusing to give you an age at that point, then skip it and let your supervisor know immediately after your appointment that we don't have an age for this item, and they'll come up with a plan with the adjuster and let you know what to do later. And then for model numbers, anything that has a model number, you want to take a photo of it and write it down. Taking your photo is kind of your fail-safe. And then you want to write down that model number so it gets transferred over onto your inventory. Now let's say you're halfway through writing down that model number and the insured comes running in and distracts you. You have that photo that you can refer to later on to fill in that information. Just remember to go back and fill it in. For serial numbers, that's nothing you actually need to fill in. It does not help our valuation department. So you can go ahead and skip that. And for manufacturer and brand, anything that has a brand, you want to write that down. Whether it's clothing, shoes, dishes, toys, electronics, anything like that, you want to write down the brand. Now, when it comes to clothing and shoes, those are documented differently. You're going to want to separate them out by type and gender. So what you'll do is, let's say you're walking into a bedroom and you see 3 women's blouses. You'll put in your description, women's blouses. You'll update your quantity to 3. And then you'll take the 3 brands, if there are 3, and insert that information into brand. Now let's say you open up a closet and you find 20 more blouses. All you need to do is refer back to that original photo, update the quantity, and then go to brand and take the most popular 3 to 4 different brands that the insured has and write those down. Same thing goes for shoes. For pre-loss condition, you're actually going to skip it on the app. We use different verbiage. The verbiage that we use are below average, average, above average, and excellent. The pre-loss condition on the app uses excellent, good, used, and worn. So we want to avoid using those options because it does not correlate with what we have on our spreadsheets. So what you'll do is just go over that information with the insured at a later date. And then when it comes to receipts, when the adjuster is asking for receipts, what you're typically going to end up running into is that those items are no longer on site because they were damaged beyond recognition, stolen, or thrown out for some reason. So if that's the case, what you'll do is just create a new room like we did with the family room, label it receipts, and then put all your photos of the receipts in there. The adjuster will be able to take care of it at that point. Now, let's say the insured has a damaged mountain bike in the garage and they have the receipt with them. What you can do is still take that photo, you put in all the information you can for it, and then if the insured says they do have that receipt, then you can go ahead and pop that receipt in right here. Now, if they don't have it with them at the time you're filling in this information, you can always get that receipt from them later on, edit your details for that photo, and you can put in that receipt photo here. When it comes to commercial losses, the adjuster will always need invoices and receipts for anything that the insured is claiming. So at that point, I would just go ahead and create that room, label it receipts, and put all the receipts in there to simplify it. And then for depreciation category, you're going to skip that. That's nothing you ever have to worry about. Our valuation department would take care of that. Now, when it comes to the insured giving you the price they paid for the item, you are going to want to put that price in replacement cost value, because for some reason, when it gets transferred over onto Encircle, if we put that price in purchase price, it doesn't get transferred over and it stays blank. However, if we put the price in replacement cost value, it does get transferred over into the right column for the price they paid per item. So just remember, if they paid $30 for the item that they're claiming, to put that in replacement cost value. If you do not put it in replacement cost value, you'll end up having to go back into Encircle, go through every photo, and update your inventory manually. And then for retailer name, that's just where they bought the item from. Now, if they tell you they bought it from a thrift store, a flea market, a yard sale, it was a gift, or, they won the item, we're not able to use any of those resources because the prices are never going to be reliable. So if they do give you one of those resources, let them know that, hey, we can't use those because the prices aren't reliable. Where would you go today to replace it? And we'll go ahead and use that. Now, if the insured doesn't remember how much they paid for an item or doesn't remember where they bought the item from, you can go ahead and skip it. Our valuation department will be able to figure out a good price for the item based off the description you give them. So I'm going to go back up and fill up the information that we have. So we have the white wireless gaming mouse. I only have one of those. The age is 1 year. Then we'll go ahead and take that model number. Perfect. And then we'll write that down. All right, perfect. And again, we'll skip the serial number. The brand is Red Dragon. We're going to skip the pre-loss condition. I don't have a receipt for it. Again, we're going to skip depreciation category, and then I'm going to put my purchase price in replacement cost value. We're going to leave it checked as depreciate, and then we're going to say I bought this from Amazon, and we'll click save. And then typically when you're ready to start going on to the next item, you'll just go ahead and click add, and it'll take you back into the camera and you can continue taking your photos. If you're done with that room or done for the day, you'll click done, and it'll put you back into the contents tab, and then that's when all your photos will show up. If you're done with that room, you'll just click the back button create your new room and move on from there. If you're done with the site, then you would not need to worry about that, and you are going to be good to go from there. And we'll go over in the next video how to use the Encircle website to make your life a little more simple, and pulling up that spreadsheet that Encircle will automatically generate for you to fill in any missing information.